Hello and welcome everybody to another Secrets of Strixhaven draft video, and I'm Paul Cheon, and we are currently sitting at, well, we're not a percentage gamer, okay? We'll just leave it at that. I have been doing a fair number of drafts. I've been practicing a bunch. Of course, I have the Pro Tour coming up very, very soon, and so I'm just getting a lot of my reps in with limited, just so I don't make a fool of myself on coverage. I am ready to go back to our winning ways. Now, before we hop in, I did want to say that this video is brought to you by TCGplayer.com. Go to TCGplayer.com for all of your Magic the Gathering singles and sealed product needs. Whether you want to buy some booster boxes of Secrets of Strixhaven or you wanted some singles for your standard Modern, Pioneer, or Commander decks, check out TCGplayer.com and make sure you hit that affiliate link in the description below before making any purchases. Additionally, head on over to HeavyPlay.com for premium Magic the Gathering supplies and accessories. If you are in the market for top-of-the-line deck boxes, playmats, sleeves, dice boxes, all that utilize their special magnetic technology so that all their products snap conveniently into place, go to heavyplay.com/paulcheon to get 10% off your first order. They're also going to be at MagicCon Las Vegas. Swing by the booth. Tell them Paul sent you for 10% off in person as well. Alrighty, what do we have? There is Repel Calamity and Snarl Song and Germination Practicum. Paradigm, put 2+1/+1 counters on each creature you control. Well, that seems ridiculous. I mean, I gotta try it. Look, I believe that Snarl Song and Repel Calamity are the other options. Then we have Elite Interceptor and Last Gasp. So pretty deep pack overall. Like 1, 2, 3, 4 cards that you're reasonably happy taking here outside of Germination Practicum. Now, I can believe a world where Snarl Song is the better pick. This card has been doing quite well for me. I've been really liking it in my multicolor control decks, but this is a unique effect. The Paradigm spells are really, really strong. Of course, when you draft Germination Practicum, you do want to lean into a more creature-heavy green deck, so that's what we're going to be trying to draft instead of, the controlling, multicolored nonsense deck. You want more creatures. Geometer's Arthropod, blue-green for a 1/4. When you cast a spell with X in its mana cost, look at the top X cards of your library, put one of them into your hand and the rest in the bottom of your library in any order. That card can be pretty nice. There's also Witherbloom Charm and Bogwater Lumeret as other green options. I guess I'm asking myself which deck is going to have more creatures in it, and typically the Golgari decks or Witherbloom decks have more creatures in it, and I just feel like this one is better in like a spell-heavy deck. I'm going to take the Lumeret here over the Arthropod, just because I feel like this is going to allow me to utilize the Germination Practicum a little bit better. But let's move on. Stand Up for Yourself is a solid removal spell. There's a Terrafractal, which is okay. But the only issue with Stand Up for Yourself is it's going to be really hard to splash, right? So I don't know if I should take that here. Although the rest of this pack is kind of weak. I guess if I took the blue-green X creature, I could have taken Terrafractal. But that's not even that impressive for a third pick. There's also Adventurous Eater, I guess. All right, you know what? I'm going to take it. It's certainly weaker than all the other cards that we've seen. But I'm going to take it here and try to keep my life total, try to play a lot of creatures and try to have a lot of things that gain me life. Here we have Colonian Tackle, Giant Growth, and Cost of Brilliance. Pursue the Past is the best card in the pack. Cost of Brilliance and Render Speechless also pretty nice. I don't think I like this card that much. I'm just going to take Cost of Brilliance. I think this is just a good spell to have, and if I want to be a base green deck, I'm going to be gaining a bunch of life anyways. So let's go ahead and take this. And all right, well, there's a Silverquill Charm, and I'm not really seeing a whole lot of green. I can't believe it because green is, I think, largely considered to be the weakest color. But let's take the Silverquill Charm here, and we might need to pivot into some kind of Silverquill strategy here. There's also Transcendent Archaic, which can be nice in like a multicolored Converge shell. But Silverquill Charm is fantastic. And if I keep getting black and white cards, like, we have to identify that that's the open lane, and now we have a Snooping Page. All right, well, I wanted to make it happen. I did. But we're not really seeing a whole lot of the green and black stuff. I do think Snooping Page is better than Arnon Deathbloom Botanist. This card's just okay. Let's take the Snooping Page, and perhaps black-white is where we need to be. All right, Last Gasp, pick 7. Although noting that there's also a Grapple with Death and a Render Speechless, both of which are also quite nice. But I'm going to take the cheap, efficient removal spell that would go in actually both decks. But yeah, those are 3 really solid cards for what we might be looking to do. All right, Killian's Confidence, that's great. Pack 1, pick 8. Melancholic Poet and Inkling Mascot. So absolutely, this is the lane that we need to be. The question is, what's best in black-white? I kind of need a 2-drop. All right, I kind of need creatures. I'm going to take the Melancholic Poet. I think it's a little better than the Inkling Mascot. I do think it's somewhat close. Oh my gosh. I can't believe this tabled. Elite Interceptor. There's also Render Speechless, which I really do like in the black-white decks, but we need to prioritize creatures and spells because we gave up on a lot of cards earlier. Yeah, black-white land as well, but we're going to take the Elite Interceptor. Very, very happy about that. Inkling Mascot on the wheel. Hey, look, you know, you draft, you read the signals, and you try to do something cool, but then you pivot out of it when it's absolutely clear that it's not open, and now we're going to settle into a nice black-white deck here. Shattered Acolyte versus Render Speechless. I do like the Acolyte a fair amount, but I really want to, I haven't played with this enough, but I think this is one of the more important cards to have in a black-white deck, particularly when you're playing against like the go-over-the-top blue-red or teamer like Converge decks. All right, well, there's a Together as One. Gosh. This is like the sweetest card in the whole set. I don't think I can play it here in a 2-color deck, and I have 2 really good options here in Scolding Administrator and Bitter Triumph. I do feel like I should just take the Administrator, but it is sad passing a Together as One. But the Scolding Administrator is a premium 2-mana creature. 2 mana for 2/2 menace with Repartee. Whenever you trigger it, you get a +1/+1 counter on this creature, and when it dies, put it on a different creature. All right, pack 2, pick 2. Which one's this one? Grave Researcher. If there are 3 more cards, this one seems okay. I don't know that it's better than Quillblade Laureate or Repel Calamity, though. Let me see. If there are 3 more creatures in your graveyard, then I can reanimate. Should I try it? Like, I have a lot of spells, so I'm actually not really looking to take this Repel Calamity. So it's like between the Quillblade Laureate and the Grave Researcher. No, I'm going to take the Laureate. I think Repel Calamity might be like a slightly stronger card, but it's really important in these decks to have a really great curve. And having creatures that cast spells for you is also very, very nice. Shattered Sanctum is quite good, but Postmortem Professor is also great. Going to take that as another solid 2-mana play. Basically, the idea for this, at least the way that I like to draft these types of decks, is make sure you have a bunch of great Repartee 2-drops or just premium 2-drops. These are all really, really solid. And then follow that up with cards like Cost of Brilliance and Render Speechless. And it's just important to have something to target with, you know, these spells. Here we have Arcane Omens, which is another really good Converge spell, but not in my black-white deck. So for me, it's Eager Glyph Mage, Sneering Shade Rider, and Render Speechless. Look, let's push it. Let's try Render Speechless number 2. This is like my 4-mana. This is my 4-mana slot, right? It's like you play your dudes, and then you play this. Put your counters on a thing. Now, noting that this... No, this does trigger. Yeah, this is great. Oh my gosh, what? Emeritus of Truth? Or of Truce? We're going to take that. I mean, this pack is really nice. Graduation Day, I'm not as big of a believer in just because it's not a creature. You can have, like, the upside is really high, but the floor is just a waste of a card. You need to get like 2 triggers off of this for it to be somewhat worth it. Last Gasp, of course, is great, but Emeritus of Truce is fantastic. I might not be able to pronounce it very well, but I do think it's quite strong. Here, I'm going to take Hop to It over Spirit Call Enthusiast. Although not clear how good this card is. Like, if you don't have a whole lot of ways to go super wide, like if there's no benefits to going wide, I can see it not necessarily being as good. But I do, I don't mind the Adventurous Eater, honestly. It's probably better than Rehearsed Debater just because it's another way to trigger Repartee. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 cards that care about that. Here we'll take Quillblade Laureate over Shattered Acolyte. And we are developing a very nice mana curve. Although I don't love the Burog Banemaker. The 3 cards here on the right are more filler level cards. All right, black-white land. We're going to slam that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 creatures. 5 spells. I mean, we're in really good shape. All right, Sneering Shade Rider. Wow, Living History that late. I don't mind this as a top-end card. Not like something I'm going to lock in, but totally fine to play. All right, Shattered Sanctum, great. I mean, way better than Forum of Amity, because this can come into play untapped on turn 3. So now it's like, the only concern, I mean, obviously there's always concerns, but now our mana is perfect, right? We have like Emeritus of Truce, and it's going to be a lot easier to be able to cast this card now that we have 2 black-white lands. So yeah, I mean, this was certainly the seat here for us, picking up a bunch of uncommons. Now we have a really good curve here of creatures. Could probably use like a removal spell or 2, and then move forward. I wonder, yeah, I mean, now I kind of wish I had the Repel Calamity over the Quillblade Laureate, but I mean, I don't think you can go too wrong just like taking a bunch of creatures, you know what I mean? All right, this is an interesting pick. It's not going to be the Wanderer. For me, it's Snooping Page versus Strixhaven Skycoach. Like, this card is good, but this card is great, especially in a very creature-heavy deck. I mean, the fact that this just always gets you the land and just gives you a 3/2 flyer, I just feel like Strixhaven Skycoach is premium, so let's take that. All right, pack 3, pick 2. We have Terramorphic Expanse, but I don't think I need more mana fixing here. There is Helping Hand, which is okay. There's Tragedy Feaster. If there's a deck where this card is good, it's probably this one. Yeah, I mean, I gotta try it, right? I want to try this card. My mana is also good. Like, because I have the 2 black-white lands, like, it's not going to be too hard to be able to pull this off, even though I have the double white card. Here we have Snooping Page versus Wander Off. I really need some removal. This is a I'm taking a weaker card probably in the deck just to make sure that I have enough ways to kind of clear the board here. So this is basically my 3rd removal spell. Just kind of, you just gotta draft at this point in the draft. Like, you need to draft more for what your deck needs instead of just sometimes the objectively potentially most powerful card. So let's take the Wander Off here. All right, Nita is not good. It sucks because it's like an Orzhov rare or a Silverquill rare, but it's just not a good card, unfortunately. Honorbound Page, for example, I think is much better. I would rather not play this too, but we'll see. Very easy Abigail here. Just a nice way to trigger your oh my gosh, Repartee. We'll take Elite Interceptor. I mean, look, this is with the lane, right? Pack 3, pick 6, Elite Interceptor, and Melancholic Poet. Very, very happy. Our creature count's currently sitting at 13, plus the Strixhaven Skycoach. Eternal Student versus Shattered Acolyte. Let's go with the Student. We don't have that. Oh my gosh. Pick 8 Elite Interceptor along with another Wander Off. That is insane. All right, Snooping Page tabled. Look, the seat was open, right? This seat was absolutely open. 6 2-drops, 3 1-drops. We are super happy with this deck. We're currently on 16 creatures now. Yeah, I mean, this is just absolutely where we need it to be. And look, we have 3, 4, 5. We have so many ways to trigger Repartee just from our creatures. 6, 7 from our creatures, and then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we have 13 cards in our deck that can trigger our Repartee cards. And we have 3, 4, 5 cards that care about it, which is a little bit on the lower side. You know, it'd be nice just with 2 cards left, just a Inkling Mascot or something. I'll take it. The question is, how many lands do I play? I actually think, 16 or 17 is interesting. I don't have anything that costs more than 4 mana, but I do have like a lot of mana sinks, right? Like, I have a bunch of cards that, I have a bunch of creatures that come prepared, so I feel like I want to just hit my land drops. Let's put these in and just take a look. So as far as final cards to consider, I like everything else here on the left. I wonder how good Dig Site Inventory is in this deck. Like, how aggressive are we? We look pretty aggressive. We have 6 2-drops and 3 1-drops. And if we just keep our curve super low, like, if I play 16 lands with the Dig Site Inventory, that seems okay. Something like that. 16 creatures. And then what's our color situation? Dead even. So something like this. Also, this is a little better because I have like double strikers, and turning elite interceptors into 2/3s also seems pretty good. It goes from like a pretty irrelevant body to a very relevant body. And then obviously it also works well with the various repartee cards that we have. So yeah, let's try Digside Inventory. Haven't really played with it much, but you know, this is just a fine deck. 16 lands, really low curve, lots of ways to cycle, and the Sky Coach to get us a land that we need. And we top out at 4 mana. So yeah. You know, it's not like this deck is chock full of bombs or anything, but I just think it's a very, very solid configuration, and let's give it a whirl. All right, now before round 1 starts, I wanted to say that if you've been enjoying this content and wanted to support the channel in another way, I do have a Patreon. That's patreon.com/paulcheon. Wanted to give a special shout out to the patrons here. Really appreciate your support. Access to the Patreon gives you access to my Discord channel, which gives you access along with a variety of other benefits, including access to videos that I make on a monthly basis. I do monthly streams for the Patreon. Lots of benefits. Great community. Check it out. All right, opponent on the play here. There's the Digside Inventory. This is the card that, like, I'm still not sure how good it is, but I feel like we have a decent deck for it. What should I play turn 2? Postmortem Professor or Inkling Mascot. Now, this one does more damage. Send in the Pest. We can discard Plains, I guess. I guess if they play something big... Okay. Fair enough. Alright, well... Wait, when did this make it into my deck? Whoops. Okay, well, I did not mean to play Hop to it in my deck. I guess I'll play it. Talk about like a pleasant surprise. Attacking with that is a choice. All right. Well, oh, they're gonna play the 4-drop. No, they're just. That's what they're doing. What do I want? They have 3 cards. I think the play, honestly, is to just play 2 creatures. Now, if they have a sweeper here, that would be unfortunate. The rare Golgari sweeper or whatever. Nope, it's just a tenured concoctor. So we can certainly kill that one. It's a 4/5 with vigilance. So yeah, let's just kill this. Snooping Page. Yeah, that seems good. Alright. Opponent down to 12 life, and we have a lot of options here. That's a Sneering Shade Rider. Fair enough. Let's think. They're at 16 life. I can give this double strike, and then Digside Inventory and give this double strike as well. So that would be 12 damage. You crazy! Alright, you're at 1 life. I guess they just didn't want to lose their creature. Sure. Alright. That was a pretty average looking Golgari deck, and we were able to get it done. All right, so now let's go back to our deck. How did we... Okay, we just had 41 cards. All right. All right. Was the dig site inventory good? You know what? Let's still give it a shot. It was fine. It seems really good with like my snooping cards and whatnot. All right, opponent on the play. We have 2 lands with the Quillblade Laureate, but no access to black mana. I'm going to mulligan this. I think this deck, it's just really important for me to curve out with this deck. Let's keep this. What am I bottoming? I'm on the draw. Now let's bottom a land. Because if I find land number 3, then I also have the Sky Coach to get me land number 4, right? I guess it's bad if I just never draw land number 3, but I feel like with the Interceptor and the card draw from the Interceptor, we have a really good shot of doing so. Let's just draw a card there. Tragedy Feaster, that's a nice one. Would have preferred playing a 2-mana creature there, of course. That's a Noxious Newt from the opponent. And we drew Emeritus of Truth. Of Truce, rather. I keep saying Truth. So this one's really interesting because I just play this on turn 3 and it's a 3-mana 3/3 that makes a 1/1 flyer. Like, that's just good. Putting 4 power and 4 toughness in play on turn 3 is really strong. I mean, it's just an Eager Glyph Mage, but for 3 mana, and that is a world of difference. So now I can, like, safely attack with both of these. Next turn, we have an interesting choice. There's Tragedy Feaster, which is ginormous. But they do have the Death Touch creature, so I might not want to just run it out. They did play a 4-mana 2/5. Let's just go ahead and kill that and beat down. So if I draw a 2-drop, next turn is pretty straightforward. Because I can go Strixhaven Sky Coach into Inkling Mascot. Okay. They might have like an Essence Scatter or something, but... Can't Essence Scatter that. Let's get Swamp, because I have a double black spell in my hand. Essence Scatter? Sure. Yeah, I mean, they're kind of stuck on lands here. Oh, but do they have a... Oh, see, that's just bad. I mean, I don't know. I guess they kept the mana, but... Like, you're playing against a black-white aggro deck. Can you really afford to take, like, 3 damage for no reason? You know what I mean? Seems a bit risky. Alright, well, let's get the 7/6 out here. I mean, if they kill it, they kill it. I lost the land. I have nothing that costs more than 4 mana. So, if anything, this is like an ideal scenario for this card. Alright, they get to discard a card. So I guess it was a 2 for 2. I just like that it was this is a trampling creature and my opponent's at 6. Okay. Aggressive attack from the opponent. Let's get the snooping page out there, because if I draw any way to trigger Repartee, we get them. So I have 2 flyers available. And that is a way to trigger Repartee. Let me read this. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery that targets a creature. So I can target anything with this. Okay. Okay. I mean, they did have a lot of good interaction. 2 Essence Scatters and 2 Bite Spells. Took a bunch of damage, though. I feel like they still should have just used the Barrage to kill my 3-3. Like, just kill my 3-3 and then keep up Essence Scatter. Like, this is not a matchup where you can afford to take that kind of damage. It's like, you have to identify your role in a matchup. Right? Like, if you're playing against a slower deck, sure. But against my deck, just kill things when you have the chance. Alright, we have 2 lands and a bunch of decent cards. Obviously, I would like another land here, but turn 2 Scolding Administrator seems quite nice, and we drew a land, so that's perfect. So now, we have turn 2 Administrator, turn 3 Snooping Page, which of course we're very, very happy with. And we have 2 removal spells and a Render Speechless, so yeah, I would really love to draw land number 4 here to be able to play this out, but we did not, so we are sad. Run behind. Ugh! Do I want this on top? Probably not. Let's put this on the bottom. I mean, we just have to go aggro here. Also, given their colors, this probably just doesn't even kill anything. Grapple with Death. Nice. Sure. Alright, Postmortem Professor. Really wanted to land, but it's fine. Yeah, I mean, they drew all their colors, so this is going to be a tough spot. I mean, this type of matchup is a card where this really shines, but of course I need to have a creature on board to be able to pull it off. Potioner's Trove, yeah, I mean, they went super deep here. Prismari Charm, okay. Oh, look at their hand. Oh my gosh. Transcendent, Archaic, and Snarl Song? What the heck? They're both amazing. Not really sure how I beat either. Oh my gosh. So one of them makes a 2 5/5s and the other one is a 6/6 that draws them a million cards. Blue, white, black, green, red. So draw 5, discard 2, or 2 5/5s. Alright, well, let's see if we can beat 2 5/5s, I guess. Okay. Just in case you're wondering, I probably won't be able to. I will say, Prismari Charm looks kind of medium. Like, I don't know what they're... Like, it's just not the type of card that you splash. Unless your mana is perfect. And it's very possible that their mana is perfect. Yeah, I mean... We are simply not going to beat this draw. All good. And they even have the Great Hall of the Bibuplex. Sweet deck, Nitro Bulldog. Basically, like, whenever you play against the Converge decks, it's gonna be difficult to beat their best draws, but, and this is speaking from experience as well, that deck will just lose to itself, like, 1 every 5 games. Like, straight up just won't be, it'll just lose to itself. And if you're on the play with a well-timed disruption spell, like, you can still get them, right? The fact that they had the 2 of the payoff cards made it so that we were not able to get it done there. All right. We got 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop, playing against another, no, Diary of Dreams? All right, never mind. I guess they're not Silverquill. This is not a card you want to play in Silverquill decks. Yeah, oh, never mind. They're like a... Maybe they're like a Silverquill control deck. You know what I mean? Maybe. Like, Social Snub is not something you really want to play unless you just have, like, all removal. Eternal Student, I will happily discard. 4 cards in hand. Let us see what they're working with. Yeah, okay. Flashback, Eager Glyph Mage, Stirring Honormancer, and Snarl Song. Let's just take the card they can play. Okay, they're looking for a land. Miss! Miss! Yes. I don't think I want to put more here. I think I just want to put counters on the flyer. Just to like spread around the my threats, right? Like I miss out on 1 point of damage, but now I have like a 2/2 flyer, which is quite strong. They found a Terramorphic Expanse. We drew Quillblade Laureate. Okay, well, we're gonna go for it now. Erode? Wow. And I didn't even get to put a counter on something. Wait, why didn't they do it in response? Oh, because they wanted me to use this. Wow, Erode was... And then they get to flash it back? Alright. Wow. Hey, that Erode was no joke. Was there a... Yeah, I mean, I wasn't playing around... Like, I knew most of their hand, right? So, like, I just wasn't playing around that. Like, could I have given Double Strike to something else? Obviously, that's, like, eggs in one... Like, putting all my eggs in one basket there. Oh, they went and got a forest? I thought they wanted to flashback something for sure. Okay, that doesn't... Okay. Nita. Alright, Emeritus of Truce. Sure. Let's last gasp this. Let's attack. I guess they really need a land here to be able to play Snarl Song. If they play the Snarl Song, they will be able to stabilize, probably. An untapped land, specifically. If not, they're dead. Like, if they play Stirring Onomancer, they're dead. Alright, there you go. Well, again, I mean, that's... Remember what I said literally in the last match? Like, these decks will lose to themselves. And that was kind of an example of that, right? Like, you get to play a lot of sweet multicolored cards, but even when you do, you have to be kind of... you still have to respect the mana base a little bit. Like, when I draft the Converge decks, you want to keep, like, a core 2 colors, and then, like, splash a little bit of something here and there, right? Otherwise, you're just going to tax your mana way too much, and you're not even going to sure, like, when you're going to play your 2 drops on curve. And, you know, for example, the opponent before, they had Prismari Command, or whatever, Prismari Charm. Like, how often can they actually play that on turn 2? I don't know, right? If they were base blue deck, sure, you can. But if you play Prismari Charm and, like, a Silverquill Charm in your deck, one of those probably shouldn't be in your deck. All right, on the play here. Totally fine hand. Turn 2 Inkling Mascot or Scolding Administrator. I think I'm going to go with the Administrator here. More upside. More upside. Noxious Newt. I'm going to go with Strixhaven Sky Coach here. And pass. Oh shoot, it has Menace! Oh my gosh, I'm so bad. Okay. Alright. Punt number 1. My opponent is at 18 life. Let's hope it does not matter. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why this card's amazing. It's because it also has Menace. That is a big, big mistake. Wild Growth Archaic. That is a 3/3. What the hell was I doing? What am I doing? I mean, there's nothing they can play for 1 green, right? Oh my gosh. All right. Well, we got to kill the Wild Growth Archaic, of course. All right, so my opponent should be at 15 life. Oh, man. It's such a brutal punt, though. Just because, like, I feel like these black-white decks, like, every point is so relevant. Slumbering Trudge, holy smokes. Is this mana value or power? So I can turn this into a 6/6. I'm wondering if I should just kill the Newt. I think the mana is relevant. I'll keep that. Alright. My opponent should be at 8 life. By the way, this can randomly go face too, if I want. Okay. Let's tap you down. Don't want the land. Snooping Page. I mean, I could theoretically just go for the win this turn. Why not? Don't want that. They could have the bounce spell. I guess that would be annoying. Nope, Sky Coach Conductor. They're going down to 1 life. Alright, well. Cost of Brilliance for the win. Unless they can kill me this turn. Which would be very sad. I don't know if there's like some crazy overrun effect. Nope, just a deduce. Yeah, I mean, perfectly fine, respectable hand. Look. Like, lots of ramp, all that good stuff. Target player draws 2 cards. And loses 2 life. Sure. There we go. Yeah, the 2 damage I'm gonna say was kind of relevant, but at least we still won. Alright, 4-1. Nice, quick beatdowns. That's what the silverquill deck does. Alright, on the play. Beautiful hand. 1-drop, 2-drop, cost of brilliance. I am in. I don't know what to target with the cost of brilliance. Like, I really want to target the the double striker. It's just way more damage. But the upside of targeting the Elite Interceptor is the fact that it doesn't die to Tome Blast. Yeah, let's target the Interceptor. Spread the love a little bit. I mean, If they kill the Laureate, I'm just not going to be that sad. Boom! Shakalaka! You love to see it. All right. What do I want to do now? I can play Postmortem Professor plus Last Gasp or Adventurous Eater. Or Postmortem Professor plus Rejoinder. Yeah. Like, I kind of want to get the card out of this. Well, actually, I should have cast Rejoinder first, in case there's a 2-drop I'd rather play. Kirill. Okay. That is a dig site inventory. Lots of good options. I kind of want to get this down. I suppose I could have attacked with the 2-3 as well if they, like, somehow chump with this. I mean, they're stuck on 2 lands. It's going to be hard for them to win. And if they kill this, I can obviously just get it back. And then I still have, like, a bunch of removal and ways to pump things. But I basically just wanted another creature in play. Alright, well that was straightforward. We just curved out and they stumbled. Like, this is a punishing format, especially when you're playing against a silverquill deck and you miss a beat. In this instance, I think they might have missed 2 beats, and that's all it takes, honestly. Beat downs! 5 and 1. Alright, actually a very similar hand here, except we're on the draw. And our opponent snap kept. Turn 1 interceptor, we have a 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop. I think Dig Site Inventory is probably the type of card that you like exactly 1 copy of in your decks. You know what I mean? What if I have Last Gasp? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that is honestly a very reasonable no block from the opponent. Like, Last Gasp is a real thing. And Sanar is obviously very strong. So you take just 1 damage, and then now that I'm tapped out, you can, if you have like a Tome Blast and to make a treasure, I am super duper behind. Right? Yeah, this is where things get a little bit annoying. Like, they can have Essence Scatter, and I kind of want to play around that. So maybe I can just, like, tap this and try to draw a card. That's fine. It's an 0-7. And then they get to make a treasure. I guess we just attack with both. If they make a treasure and then flash into 2-3 flash vigilance thing, I'll be very sad. You have a pump spell? There's no way your deck has a pump spell. Monstrous Rage? What the heck? Man, they played 2 spells this turn. Not cool. And they got a treasure out of the deal. We are not in good shape. Resonating Loot? Oof. Okay, okay. 2 cards. The problem is they can always get the wild idea for something. So I think I'm just going to play 2 things. And then next turn we can go for, you know, render speechless into whatever. Oh. Sure. Yeah, I mean, again, not going to beat this one. Or it's going to be very tough, too, to beat this. I want a removal spell for Sanar. Their deck is really, really solid. Homesickness versus Color Storm Stallion. 1, 2, 3. Oof, gosh. I mean, Improvisation Capstone is the best of the Paradigm spells. And if you can ramp it out with the loot, obviously we're just going to lose. They went Professor into double Ancestral Anger. Oh my gosh. This is sweet. This is certainly sweet. You're going to get a lot of like these crazy snowbally games in this format. Just pretend like you're drafting Cube. That is like the best advice I can give. Just, you know, this format plays a lot like Cube. So like when you lose, like it's not even close. Like even when we won, it wasn't close, right? That's just how this format plays out a lot of the time. Unless you have just like 2 lower hold mid-range decks going. Then they can cast Homesickness or Homelessness. They can wait on the Homelessness, honestly. How does this have 4 power? When did this get so big? Oh, double Ancestral Anger, sure. I mean, can we actually win this game? We'll give it like another turn, I guess. I don't know. They can cast Homesickness and tap all my stuff down. And they still have the Paradigm going. And they're at 13. Okay. I've run the numbers. No chance. All right, let's keep going. Basically, it's like if we can dodge the bombs or get it out of their hand ahead of time, we'll be okay. But if we can't, GG's. Yeah. All right. Another fine hand. Three lands, a couple of 2-drops, and some removal spells. Can't really be sad about that. Terramorphic Expanse is the play from the opponent. What land do they get? Swamp. So curious if they play a Plains or... Okay, so we got a nice little Silverquill Mirror. I'm not sure which creature to play. I'm going to play this because it can block. I don't plan on blocking with it, but... I mean, I'm very likely to play Last Gasp here. Yeah. As much as I want to play Snooping Page, I feel like not casting Last Gasp is going to be very, very painful. If they have a removal spell, they might want to fire it off on the Administrator. Nope. Summoned Dromedary. Okay. Wander Off is actually quite good against that. 3 cards in hand. And it's just a good use of mana. I would love to draw a Swamp. If I draw a Swamp, then I can go like Professor into Silverquill Charm or something along those lines. Ascendant Dustspeaker, okay. Exiling a card out of the graveyard doesn't matter too much. Okay, well, we should probably kill this Quillblade Laureate while we drew the Swamp, so that was great. So now the question is Snooping Page versus Silverquill Charm. 2 cards in hand for the opponent. I'm just going to play this because it's more mana efficient. If I draw a Swamp, I can play the left and right creature. Let's get rid of that now. So they can't just double strike me out. We have a 5/5 menace creature. If they kill this, I get to put the counters on the Snooping Page, which is quite nice. 2 cards in hand for the opponent. Inkling Mascot. They're going to exile some stuff. But we have the opportunity to make nice attacks. They might not. They might actually hold back, honestly, given the life totals. And that completely makes sense. I mean, I can still attack with the Administrator, trade with the Dustbeaker, and then put the counters on the snooping page. Like, this doesn't really need a whole lot of help, so... But I don't want to just attack here and just have the Dustbeaker eat it for free, you know what I mean? And of course, if they have a removal spell for the snooping page, that's not great, but... Sack of Plains. Alright, we got a 5-6 that draws us a card when it hits them, and I have a 7-6 Trampler. It's good, and they're at 8, so... Hopefully this is enough. Elite Interceptor. That should get it done. Just tap you down. Of course they can have a removal spell. But... Alright. Well, there you go. So what happens when, like... Look at this! I mean, obviously I like the fact that we won, but I just, you know, I like that we just get to play, like, regular Magic. You know? I play a creature, you play a creature, play a removal spell, tricks, you know? Maybe I'm a purist, but, you know, I get it. The goal of this format when they were designing it was to, like, have you do big, flashy things with lots of mana, utilizing lots of math. And they succeeded with flying colors. And believe me, I will try my best to do my fair share of that stuff as well. Alright, on the draw here, but we have a really nice curvaceous hand. Interceptor, Scolding Administrator into Abigail or Snooping Page. Plenty of things to use our mana on. That is a forest, so they are on some kind of probably slower value-based deck. I know they can have Essence Scatter, but I can't play around it. Like, I need to put pressure on. If they have Essence Scatter, they have Essence Scatter. I think if they had Tome Blast, they would have fired it off on the Interceptor. Topiary Lecturer. Okay. To block or not to block? And then for me, the question is Abigail or Snooping Page. This is a nice evasive creature that, like, for sure can get damage through. And if I play like the elite, if I play Elite Interceptor next turn, I can play it, tap something down, trigger Repartee, then do this. Or I can play Snooping Page, but, like, if I trigger Repartee, then I guess I can't play the Abigail, but this does give me a source of card advantage. You can make good arguments for both. I'm going to go for the cards. But, like, if I play the Snooping Page, I kind of am priced into... if I play the Snooping Page, I'm kind of priced into having to play a Repartee spell. I mean, which is obviously not terrible on this board, but, you know, the thing with this deck is, like, you just want to play, like, a bunch of creatures and then start playing Repartee so that they all trigger at the same time. If they have a removal spell, they might just kill the Snooping Page. This is where a Render Speechless would be fantastic. Like, if I draw it this turn, see what they're working with. Barrage. Okay. Yeah, Lecturer, when it's unchecked, can be pretty sick. Alright, fair enough. Do I want to draw cards, or do I just want to play more things? 3 cards in hand for the opponent. Alright. This is going to be tough. They have, like, a big mana advantage. I do not like my spot here. Could have used you a turn earlier, Silverquill Charm. Yeah. They're doing the converge stuff, and they have access to 8 mana. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, this is like this is a super risky card where, like, if your opponent has a removal spell for it, it's really bad, and then if they don't have a removal, if they don't have a removal spell for it, it's really good. You know what I mean? Yeah, look at this. So much value. Did they play a land already? Maybe they did. Oh, spicy. Attacking me? Okay. So Cost of Brilliance and Silverquill Charm. We can Silverquill Charm the 1/4, which is not bad. They're at 14. I wonder, though, if it's better to try to, like, just get a bunch of damage in. Like, with Cost of Brilliance. And try to find removal. I can use this as a burn spell, too. I don't know. Or I can do this and play Abigail. That's also fine. No, let's do this. Okay, that's a wander off. 3 cards in hand. Do I want to kill this? Or do I want to... Is there a world where I need to, like, drain them with this? I mean, I'm at 13 life, too. I feel like I should just kill it. Like, I might be in, like, Chump Block Topiary Lecturer mode. 3 cards in hand, I need them to all be terrible. Like, their board is so much better than mine. I mean, Tragedy Feaster certainly does some work. Like, I can... Snooping Page can try to, like, sneak some damage through. Oh, 2 mana Orisa. Oh. There's the land. Oh, wait. Oh, I blocked with the wrong one. I'm so dumb. Why is this... Why is the active rejoinder... Okay, well, I threw the game there. I wasn't even thinking. I don't know what I was thinking. Holy... That was so bad. Man, I made some boneheaded errors in this one, I will say. Oh, they have homesickness? Okay, well, never mind. It didn't matter. We were never winning this game. Yeah. We were never winning this game. Topiary Lecturer. Unchecked. GG's. All right. Hey, you know what? That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. I mean, if you just kind of consider where we started and where we ended up, perfectly fine with a 6-3 finish. And again, this is why I like drafting the Silverquill decks. It's just the most consistent deck that you can draft in terms of just, you know, it's not hard to put this deck together. So again, especially because not all of you are... Some of you don't draft all the time, right? Some of you just are trying to get a hang of the format and you're trying to learn and you're trying to figure out, hey, you know, I draft my FNM once a week. I want to figure out what's good and what's pretty simple to draft. Well, this is the deck to draft. This is probably the easiest deck to draft that'll give you the most amount of success because I still think it's a very powerful archetype, right? The combination of having really good cheap creatures, all with repartee, or prepare creatures that help you trigger the repartee, combine that with some smattering of removal, and, you know, even commons like Cost of Brilliance and Render Speechless do a lot of work in decks like this, right? You know, there were certain games where, like, Render Speechless could have been awesome. You know, if I were able to fire this off against my Izzet opponent that played the red paradigm spell, this gives you a common answer to some of those ridiculous rares that you're going to run into in this format. So the fact that you have this, not only is it a spell that gets the best card out of their hand, but also triggers your repartee, grows your creature. It just does a lot. So another silverquill deck here that we drafted. Nice 6-3 finish. I do wish I had, honestly, one more interactive spell. So you have to be careful, though. It's just like this type of deck really wants to have a high creature count. So like 16 creatures-ish. Right? Especially cheap creatures. And then you want to have a smattering of removal, which is why, like, oftentimes I don't find myself having room for a card like Dixide Inventory. If I had a removal spell, I would have played it over this. I know we took Repel Calamity. We took Quillblade Laureate over Repel Calamity. Probably could have used the Repel Calamity. Also, there's just like a lot of good artifacts. So maybe I should have taken one copy of the 2-mana 2/2 Lifelinker that I can sacrifice for something. But all in all, just, again, this is not a deck that like pops out at the screen where you're like, oh my gosh. But we were still able to put together a nice finish with a nice synergistic deck, and this was absolutely the seat that we needed to be in. Abigail, I will say, it's just really expensive. Like, it's fine. Like, it does a lot, but I don't think it's as good as it looks. Let's just put it that way. I just feel like, you know, you have to play the creature afterwards, and then you're spending 2 mana to put a +1/+1 counter on something, which is a pretty big cost, I think. You know, I think it, like, for a signpost uncommon. So to put things in perspective, when you just kind of look at the performance rate of these cards in specifically Orzhov, like, just going to be doing a little bit of homework here. Let's take a look. When you look at Abigail, it's played in 98% of Orzhov decks. It's got a 55.9% games in hand win rate, which is well below average for an Orzhov deck. So if it might actually be wrong to just even play the card in the deck. Whereas Strixhaven Sky Coach is sitting at 62.4%, right? Adventurous Eater at 57%. So Adventurous Eater, even with a higher win rate, which you would never ever guess. I'm not saying the Adventurous Eater is a better card, but I'm saying that it's close. And the fact that this thing only costs 1 mana to trigger your repartee is probably the reason why it's having a little bit more success than a card like the Abigail. So just, you know, when you see this, for example, if you see Abigail and you see Elite Interceptor, it's not even close. You slam the Interceptor, okay? So just keep that in mind. This is a card that probably can trick you, and I think it's fine. It's solid. You play it in your decks. It is not a bomb. I would probably take Render Speechless over it if, you know, given the opportunity. But all in all, solid deck, 6-3 finish. Can't be upset about that. And at least we got to chip away a little bit at our ranking. Got a lot more work to do before we can get back into, hopefully, the double digits. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, as I really do appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for more daily videos just like this. If you've enjoyed this content and wanted to support the channel in another way, my Patreon is the best way to do so. That's patreon.com/paulcheon. Also check out TCGplayer.com for all your Match the Gathering singles and sealed product needs. If you want to buy some booster boxes of Secrets of Strixhaven, or you wanted some singles for your standard, modern, Pioneer, or Commander decks, check out TCGplayer.com and make sure you hit that affiliate link in the description below before making any purchases. Last but not least, head on over to HeavyPlay.com for premium Match the Gathering supplies and accessories. You need deck boxes, playmats, sleeves, dice boxes. HeavyPlay.com is the place to go. Make sure you go to HeavyPlay.com/paulcheon to get 10% off your first order. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.